To you directly to ensure that we get a different alternate address because Google Classroom will not work with a school address. Um, and so, yeah, we're actually going to jump in. We're going to do a Mentimeter. Give me a virtual hand raise if you're familiar with Mentimeter or if you've ever seen it before. Who's used Mentimeter before? Okay, very nice. Snigda. Is that how you say it? Okay, perfect. I know I said it yesterday, but I just wanted to make sure. All right, awesome. Okay, so yes, Mentimeter is an engagement tool that we use as a knowledge check. And I think I shared earlier that, not earlier, yesterday, that we do assessments just to kind of gauge where you are, what you know. At the end of the class, we'll do another assessment just to kind of see what knowledge was gained as you finish each session. So bear with me. I'm just going to put the link in the chat. If you're just now joining us, please ensure that your display name is your accurate name so Professor JR knows what to refer to you as, or you could feel free to put your name in the chat. All right, so I'm going to share the link. So you do need either another device or a different browser to do the assessment. So go ahead and log in. And again, this is no pressure, just for you to do your best, just so we can have a gauge of what you already know, what you need support in, and what we're going to be covering in this entire series. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And I am going to move through the questions, give each question about 10 minutes for responses, just so we can be mindful of time. All right, so the first question is, what is an entrepreneur? So the responses are on the bottom of the screen. I see 3 people are in there. And we have, let's see how many folks we have on the call. We have 13 scholars on the call. So go ahead and click on that link. I'll share the link again in the chat box. If it's easier, you can also go to menti.com and then use the code that's there on your screen. All right, I see some more responses coming in. Thank you very much. And again, just answer it to the best of your ability. All right, so a good bit of you are in there now. So we'll move on to the next question. All right, what does P&L stand for? So go ahead and answer this to the best of your ability. Okay, the next one says, what is a mentee? What is a mentee? Okay, how long should an elevator pitch be? So hopefully you're making note of these questions so that way, a mental note, when they come up in the sessions, they'll be familiar to you. How long should an elevator pitch be? Okay, what's the difference between a pitch and a presentation? So this you're going to respond by phrase. So it's a little bit different than how you've been answering thus far. So give me about, a few words, one sentence, nothing too much. Okay. Thank you for that first response. What's the difference between a pitch and a presentation? And I apologize for the typo. Oh, nice. Some answers coming in now. Give it about 5 more seconds. I know this one's a little bit longer. All right. In order to deliver a successful pitch, you don't need to know your audience. Is this true or false? All right. Our number dropped. We had 13 folks in there. All right. What is one thing you should always provide to your audience when pitching your business? What is one thing you should always provide to your audience when pitching your business? So this is a response. Okay. Excellent. Thank you for the first response. Excel, Milena, Lanier, we miss seeing you. Ichi, we miss seeing you. Aurora, Kira, Nehemiah, we hope we'll see you tonight. All right. How would you order these components of a pitch from start to finish? So, thinking if you're doing a pitch for your business, how would you order these from start to finish? What would be the first thing you would do, all the way to the last thing you would do? Catherine, I put the link in the chat if you want to join the Mincy Meter. Aurora, this is Mentimeter. I'm not sure if you're asking for the link for this or for the WhatsApp, but that's the link for what we're doing now. And we can get you the WhatsApp in 1 sec. All right. Thank you all. All right. So this is more of a who's who question. Who offers constructive criticism in a supportive way? Is that a mentor or a mentee?
Can we pick more than one answer?
I don't believe so. No, I think it's yes, have for one answer. All right. This person takes proactive ownership of their career plans and professional development. Is that a mentor or a mentee? Okay. This person focus on general goals and objectives that foster career development. And this is based on one of the application classes. Okay, great. All right. What is an elevator pitch? All right. True or false? You can use an elevator pitch to promote yourself. True or false? What is revenue? What is revenue? What is a goal? What is a goal? When should you begin to save? And by save, we mean money. When should you begin saving? Okay, so this is more of a like we're giving you the definition. So you have to tell us what this is. So gathers and compiles information from companies that lend to you to create your credit score. Who or what does this? Gathers and compile information from companies that lend to you to create your credit score. This is going to be an entity. Someone does this. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll cover this in our banking and budgeting sessions. Okay, so this is the ability to buy now and then pay over time. What is this called? The ability to buy now and pay over time. And it's not Afterpay or Klarna. I'll give you that reveal there. But it could be like them, actually, just not specifically. All right. A three-digit number that is compiled from the information about your borrowing and payment history. A three-digit number that is compiled from the information about your borrowing and payment history. What are some characteristics of a successful entrepreneur? So you can share a few words. What are some characteristics of a successful entrepreneur? Excellent. Thank you. And as you can see, I'm not validating whether anyone is right or wrong. This is really just a pre assessment, like I said at the beginning, just to get a pulse of what you all already know. All right. What is a value proposition canvas? And I believe this is our last question. What is a value proposition canvas? All right, thank you all. And I believe that will be covered either today or tomorrow, actually, that last one. So it's a nice segue into our class. So please turn on your cameras. Let's get ready to engage. And I hope you enjoy your first class, Fundamentals of Business. So I'll pass it to Professor JR.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I am excited for this fall session 2024. We're ready to go. Apologies, I wasn't able to make it yesterday, but I'm here today. So wanted to kick things off and just give you guys some opportunities to ask some questions, but also for me to share some things with you. And at any time, if you guys have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. You could drop them in the chat. You can raise your hand in the Zoom toolbar if you want to do that. First question I have, since I was not on the orientation yesterday, I just wanted everyone to drop in the chat. Just drop in the chat where you're from. As I go through the intro, just drop that in the chat. And I will begin my opening session here. Oh, wow. Buffalo, Columbia, like the country, Columbia? Nice. Okay. International, y'all. We got Nigeria in the house, Edison, Carteret. Okay. Peru, Puerto Rico, DR, Trinidad. This is the most international class body we've had. This is awesome. I was born in Jamaica, West Indies. Shout out to the Caribbean Massive. But welcome everybody. The Bronx. Okay. Awesome, awesome. So I'm very excited. And even more excited, we have such a large spectrum of attendees here from all over. So today's class will be fundamentals of business. So the goal today is to just give everyone a basic understanding of business. Who here has already like started a business or done something in the realm of business already? Who has some business experience on the line? If you have some business experience, drop a letter B in the chat if you have some business experience already. And then beyond that, so the fundamentals portion is going to go from basically what is a business through some of the basic business operating procedures. So how does a business run, make money, things like that. So by the end of this course, you should be able to share that and explain that to friends, family, whomever. But we also want you to have some understanding as to um, where do you start? If you have not started a business, where do you start, right? So that's the goal of fundamentals, and to give you guys kind of a guideline. You're gonna exit fundamentals by the end, knowing how to start planning and structuring your ideas, right? Because a lot of times we have ideas in our heads and like, how do I get this idea into a functional business, right? So we're gonna cover that. All right, we got some business folks here. Okay. What kind of businesses have you guys started? So we got Layla, Ali, and Milena. What kind of businesses were you guys involved in? Want to know who we Go ahead, Layla. Am I saying that right? Is it Layla?
Yes, it's Layla. I've I like crocheting, so I have crocheted like a couple of items, and I sold them for like being a part of my school club. I also am like a Girl Scout, so I sell Girl Scout merchandise from cookies and like they do like nut sales and like a whole bunch of other stuff. So I've sold that too.
That is awesome. Definitely add me to the list for the cookies whenever the next batch is. No, I'm a sucker for Girl Scout cookies, but awesome. Crocheting and everything. So yeah, doing some textile work there too. We have Ali said she used to sell books when she was little, and Milena, nail technician. Awesome. So you guys have some experience here. For everyone else, we'll definitely get everyone built up and gets you guys ideating. For those that have not started a business, who here has an idea for a business you would like to start? So if you have an idea for like, hey, I'm curious about this kind of business or that kind of business, drop an I in the chat if you have some kind of idea floating around in your head. Awesome, awesome. So as we go on, I'm going to give you some time. There'll be some time to talk about these ideas. So that's also good. And for those that did not drop an I in the chat, just know there will be a portion where we are going to have everyone just practice, right? Practice doing a business model canvas. We'll talk about that. And eventually we'll work you all the way up to doing an elevator pitch. All right. So the elevator pitch, the goal of that is to share your idea in a short amount of time. But it needs to be clear and concise. So we'll talk about that. A little bit about me, J.R. Dawkins. My most recent role was at Yahoo, where I was managing Yahoo.com's homepage. And outside of the 9 to 5 like Yahoo, I'm a professional photographer, currently working on getting my drone license. I want to do aerial photography and video. And I've been a tech junkie for the last 20 years or so. So very techie, run music, studio production, film, computers, and you name it. So that's kind of my quick background. Currently, I'm working at a startup called Artblow, and we are building a software platform that's going to enable remote physical therapy. So people will be able to do physical therapy from their homes just using their phone, and they could connect with their provider. And it's using AI in the background to analyze people's movements to measure range of motion and things like that. So that's what I'm doing currently. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. This is, I believe, our 4th year, so very exciting. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you all. All right, so goals for today. Definitely don't want to be the only one talking. So I want everyone to feel free to jump in when I'm throwing out the questions, or if you have a question, please just raise your hand or drop it in the chat. Let me know. If I'm going too fast, you can let me know to slow down. If I'm going too slow, you can let me know you got it, and we can move on to the next topic. In general, it'll be good to take notes. We are going to have well, we just had the Mentimeter, but we will have checkpoints here and there and then towards the end we will do like another Mentimeter to just see how you guys progressed. Okay, got it. Yeah, and feel free to share. So, all right. My slide is a little, I'm gonna go back to this one. So can someone take a stab at what makes a business a business? Like if you were to say, hey, this is what makes a business official, what would that be? What makes a business a business?
I mean, I would personally think that a business would be maybe like it's still an idea when there's like not like revenue or profit coming. So like if there's like starting customers or even like interest in it, that's when it's like the business actually becomes official.
Yes, great answer. Yeah, if you're making money and there's an exchange happening, definitely you have started that journey, right? And we have so that's the for-profit business, and then we also have non-profit businesses as well. So at the baseline, we could even reduce it to say like if there's a service being offered, right? Between two parties. Catherine put selling a product or service with the means of providing that product or service. Absolutely. S.O.A.R is a nonprofit, right? So it's a nonprofit organization, and S.O.A.R operates by getting by fundraising, by getting grants, right? And volunteer work. All right. Throughout these, I sprinkled CEOs throughout these slides as well. All right. So small business versus big business. So in general, everyone that's going to start, unless you came into a lot of money, you're going to start as a small business. A small business is typically defined as, there's some varying definitions, but typically, if you have under 500 employees and you have under 7 million in total annual receipts or sales, you're considered a small business. I was a little
All right, everyone, I think we're having some technical difficulties, so just bear with us 1 second.
guys, not sure what happened there. Sorry, just reconnecting. You guys hear me? All right, so we'll jump right into our first activity. So thinking of those business ideas, I want you guys to just take 2 minutes, write down a business that you would like to start and why. If you already started a business and you want to use that as your business idea, you can kind of just jot down the business and go into the why you're doing that business. But if you have not started a business, just write down a business that you would like to start and the why behind why you would like to start that business. And you could type it if you're on your computer using your notepad on the computer or something. When you're done, just drop a D in the chat. Let's hear some of these. Kendall, would you like to share your business and why?
I said a fashion business just because it's something I've always been interested in. Like whenever someone would ask me what I wanted to do in the future, I would always say like a fashion designer.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. Michael, you'd like to share?
I was thinking maybe like a our empanada smoothie business. Just because I thought that would be like cool, connect with my culture, kind of promote that more in like my town. And also it's kind of like an easy, accessible food. Maybe it could be like a food truck as well.
You had me at empanada. Um, have you learned how to make empanadas already?
Yeah, my mom and I make them. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, if you want to make it for S.O.A.R's Rock the Block next summer,
Okay.
I'll sign you up. Let's jump. Jordan, is it Jordan or Jordine?
It's Jordan.
Jordan, nice. Hello, would you like to share?
Um, we're sharing about a business or something we did, right?
Oh, a business you'd like to start and why?
Oh, I would like to start a library kind of business, a bookstore business, because
Okay.
for the reason why is because I personally love to read. I like to read all different kind of stories. Like the book that I'm reading right now, it's it's anatomy, a gothic kind of love story. It's very good, but yeah, I would like to create a specific kind of bookstore for like specific genres of romance, dark fantasy, because I think a lot of those books aren't really found, and like most like libraries that you go to, like say for like students who like want to get in that type of genre, they can't really find that in these public school kind of libraries.
Okay. Awesome. That. I love all the unique ideas and thoughts. And I think one of the awesome things is, with all the platforms and technologies we have now, while some people feel a little um frightened at the rate technology is growing, there is still a lot of opportunities. So something like a bookstore, you have so many venues that you can do this on physically and digitally. So that is awesome. Thanks for sharing, everyone that shared. These are great ideas. We're going to keep building. So for everyone, writing down the business idea and why is just a start. So we're going to keep building on your business ideas. And by the end of this, you will have some documents that will help you frame up your initial business plan. So that is the goal by the end of this course. All right. So switching gears a little bit, I want to kind of zoom out, right? Just zoom out to some business talk that you may or may not hear. If you're watching like business news or reading, uh, the word industry is thrown around a lot, right? So just from a high level, industry is a group of companies that compete with one another to sell similar products, right? So food industry and the computer industry or phone industry, right? When you hear the term industry, it's really like, okay, these are similar companies in the same space, and they compete with each other. And then you might hear the terms goods producing and service producing industries as two other very high level like macro statement, right? So there's goods and service. So I'm gonna drop next slide up here and just talk through it a little bit. Who here has already knows this, like heard of goods and service producing industries? You've heard these terms. Aurora, could you share just a little bit, like how would you explain, I guess, the difference between the goods and the service industries?
I can't say that I know a lot about it. I just have like knowledge on it. Goods producing, it's more like fruits and vegetables, corn, like stuff that like people go into stores for, kind of. And I'm not so much sure about service producing. Yeah.
No, that's good. So the food is definitely one section of the goods, right? So on screen, like we could look at the screen too, like it's typically you're producing something tangible, right? So whether you're manufacturing it, like the crocheting, right, would be in that tangible aspect as well. Like you're producing something and someone could pick it up and walk away with it, right? Construction is also considered in the goods area because like you're constructing a building, or maybe you're manufacturing a car, or you're growing food. So all of these are goods because you can pick it up and you can walk away with it. Now, interestingly enough, so it's speaking of the businesses in the goods producing area are the ones that are, I guess, to further define it, they're the original producers or the original manufacturers. So there's a difference from, let's say, like a factory overseas that's making actual products and then shipping them to the US, and now people here resell that, right? The resellers are resellers, right? They're not actually producing those goods. The service producing sector all the businesses that provide services, but they don't actually themselves produce tangible goods, right? So entertainment, recreation, and finance, right? You might get an accountant, you might get insurance, things like that. Those will all be under the service producing area because they're not giving you anything to walk away with. They might provide a facility that you could use. Maybe you get a gym membership, right? That's a service. Food services are also in this area because while they're preparing and cooking food, they might not have grown the food that they're selling you. So goods versus service, just a high level. So where this could be helpful is when you are looking for your competition. So whatever business you're coming up with, you might start doing certain searches and you might look for other competition in that space. But also, if you are creating things from scratch or near scratch, like crocheting, you might look at, okay, who are the manufacturers? How can I get my products for less, right? Or materials for less money, right? Those are things you want to start to look at. All right. So what I want to do here is I want you guys to just kind of draft a little bit. So you're gonna go from that initial ideation that you did, the business and why, and we're gonna go to the vision statement, mission statement, right? So I'm actually gonna to present or share a different screen just to talk through this just a little bit. So we don't have to break out just yet. So I want to show an example. Are you guys already seeing the vision?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the vision statement, once you establish your business or you're going from ideation and you're moving into planning, it's really good to craft a vision statement because that helps you to keep your direction as you're continuing to build it. So the vision statement, it's what is your business doing from a high level in an ideal situation. So if there's no blockers, no hurdles, nothing stopping you, what would your business actually be solving for, or what high level goal would your business be accomplishing? So these 6 companies we all know, and these are their literal vision statements, right? So Amazon's vision is to be the Earth's most customer-centric company, right? The most customer-centric company. And they said Earth, right? They didn't say New York or the United States. Earth, all of Earth is their target. Now, very ambitious, and their vision did change over the years. Does anyone know Amazon's original business model? Like, what did they sell originally when they first started?
He sold books.
Books. That was it. They only sold books for a while. So how they got from books to Earth's most customer-centric company, probably a documentary on YouTube on that. But we see now Amazon pretty much every day, right? I feel like a lot of us, like whether you see an Amazon delivery truck going down the road, maybe you have a Prime membership, or maybe you're ordering packages or you're also ordering it yourself. I know we see Amazon every day. Google, another one that we use pretty often, right? Provide the world information in one click. This is true to their original nature. They were originally a search engine and that was it. But you would go on Google to search for whatever it is you wanted to find on the internet. IKEA, to create a better everyday life for the many people. So they actually started overseas in Europe. But when IKEA came along, their furniture assembly was so much easier than average. Before IKEA, either you were, ordered from a store and then you had to pay for them to build it for you, put it together because you needed, drills and all this stuff. But IKEA made a lot of furniture very transportable, like from the store to home, and then easy to assemble. And pretty good quality. Instagram, capture and share the world's moments. Yeah, I mean, this they started as a platform that just shared pictures, right? Literally, that was their core business, was like post a picture and you could follow people that are posting pictures. Microsoft to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. So Microsoft, as we probably know, became kind of unanimous with computers, right? And a lot of folks use Microsoft Office or some kind of Microsoft software to do work, period. Nike, bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you are an athlete. So all of these, they're not very specific, right? They're very general, they're very high level. So when you think of your vision statement, right, it could be very high level, it could be very aspirational. Like, what do you aspire to do? Like, what part of the world, or what feeling do you want people to walk away from when they encounter your business? Or in what realm, like with the books, for example, that there might be a certain ideation, like, hey, I want my bookstore to do this for everyone, right? So vision statement does not have to be specific. Definitely an aspirational goal. But it should be something that could still be achieved somehow, some way, over a long time. Does that make sense? Any questions about vision statement? Good. Cool. Oh, and this is also in Google Class. I'll just share quickly the Google Classroom. I will get everyone invites if you have not gotten one already, but I believe it might have been in an email. But if you did not, we can follow up with that. But when you log into Google Class, you will have the materials sectioned off here. This business plan link I have in the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. So definitely, you could always go back to the material and read through it in between time. All right. So the mission statement. So the mission statement kind of drills in a little more, like, as instead of or as opposed to being really high level and really aspirational, I'll say the mission statement is more so like your day to day, right? So similar to vision, but it's more specific on the action or the details of your business. So Patagonia, we're all familiar with that. They make like like outdoor clothing and jackets and sweaters and stuff like that. Patagonia's mission is to build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, use business to inspire, and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. So they kind of want to be like a green, company, like a company that's not growing a carbon footprint. That's their aspirational day-to-day goal. Some businesses do that by, I believe Patagonia has a certain amount of their revenue that automatically is going to organizations that focus on the environmental crises. CVS Health. So CVS in the States, trying to keep in mind we have international folks. So CVS is a store focused on, it's like a pharmacy plus other things. You could also get things like your flu shots there and stuff like that. So CVS Health, their mission statement is helping people on their path to better health, right? So on a daily basis, right, if I go to the doctor, someone goes to the doctor, and you get a prescription, chances are you're picking up your prescription at CVS or a store like CVS. So they're in the health space there for day to day. Warby Parker, they make eyeglasses. These aren't my Warby Parkers, but I have Warby Parkers. So to offer designer eyewear at a revolutionary price while leading the way for socially conscious businesses. So Warby Parker came into the eyeglass space because if you do not have like really, really good vision insurance, which it's not that, a lot of folks don't, like I didn't have great vision insurance. Glasses could cost you like $400, right? And imagine you have a eye prescription and you need $400 to get glasses that look good on you or look great on you, right? So Warby Parker said, hey, the great looking glasses shouldn't just be for those that have a lot of money. We're going to make all of our glasses 100 and things like 199 and you can pick like any style you want, but they're like designer level in terms of look. They are good quality. So that's literally their mission, like every day, designer eyewear at a great price. So that's the mission. So the mission is typically, hey, what is your business accomplishing on a day-to-day basis? Like, how do you impact people's life on a day-to-day basis? All right. Um, the last bullet I have is like validate your idea. On that validate your idea piece, I'm going to introduce something else, but we'll do the first. Go ahead and we'll give some time for you to draft your vision and your mission statement. And I say draft because it doesn't have to be final, but just, start, and you could always refine it and change it and update it over time. And then after you do those two, we'll go on to validate. So I'll give about 5 minutes or so to do that. When you're done with your vision and your mission statement, just drop a D in the chat. And I would usually play music, but YouTube is getting really crazy with copyright law infringement now. So
Hun, since it's quiet, do you want to pause the recording and then you can?
oh yeah, that's good to do that.
It looks like some completions are coming through though, so.
Yeah, you guys are fast. We have how many? 13 folks, 13 students tonight?
14.
14. Okay. All right. I do believe that's most folks. Who needs a few more minutes? I think we got about the 10. All right. Let's see. Is there anyone I did not hear from yet that would like to share their vision statement?
May I
Excel?
go?
Sure. Who's that?
Nehemiah.
I didn't see your face pop. Hey, Nehemiah. Nehemiah, go ahead.
All right. Do I state what it says on the slide?
Yeah, you could share your business and the vision statement.
All right. My vision is like to have something do with like sneakers.
Okay. You wanna expand on that a little bit? Like what do you want to sell sneakers or
Nah,
collect sneakers?
I wanna create like a product that has like keep your sneakers alive. So you don't have to buy like a new one all the time. So like if they get dirty, I can make a product that like that's affordable that can clean your sneakers and revive them. And also like sometimes some sneakers might get creased easily, and maybe I can make a product like crease protectors for your sneakers.
Okay, I like that. Extend the life, extend the life of the sneakers.
Hmm.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Who else? Who else haven't we heard from yet?
I'll go.
Sure, is that Excel?
Yeah. Okay. So the business I would like to start was like a homeless shelter, because like just to, like help homeless people and like maybe like an orphanage home or something. And I said like my vision statement would be to establish people around the world with a place to feel at ease. And then my mission statement was to offer humans with a place to sleep, eat, and just relax, a place where people don't have to think about where the next shower or meal comes from.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing. That that is awesome. So there's when we get into the types of businesses, there's definitely the two big kind of brackets. Let's say there's for-profit and nonprofit businesses, and we could get into that as well. All right. Anyone else want to share that hasn't shared yet?
Who would like to share? Oh,
Milena? Sure. Go ahead. And we'll go to
okay.
you
So,
next, Catherine.
so my vision would be like to open a nail salon, but like to make prices a little less cheap. Because my mission statement is like to like make sure everyone like feels pretty and like they feel nice with their nails and like a salon overall. So like hair, nails, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And Catherine.
Um, okay, can you hear me? I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure my mic's working.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah, we
right.
hear you.
So my business idea was um a business that provides stationery that is aesthetically pleasing and it's good quality. And my vision statement was establishing a healthy, cozy, fun, and efficient work environment for people all around the globe. And my mission statement was to become an innovative, efficient, and high class company.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for sharing. These are I love the ideas and the passion you guys have for it. So the next thing I want to look at is I want to talk about business model canvas. So for me, jumping into a business plan sometimes can be a little daunting, right? All right, I think I downloaded this. I have this over here. So there's something called a business model canvas where you can take your ideas and start to categorize them in a way that, sorry, clicking on this wrong thing here. Categorize them in a way that just organizes your thoughts so you can start planning, right? I'm gonna pause while I get this up. So the business model canvas breaks down the different areas of how your business is gonna operate, right? So it can get you thinking about who are your customers, right? If you need materials, who are your suppliers? What is the value that you're bringing, right? So through the Google Classroom, there is a link where I have this walkthrough that walks you through the business model canvas. So I'm going to talk through it. I know it's a lot, but there is also you can also go back to it to read through it in more detail. But the goal of the business model canvas is to really get your ideas out of your head and get them on paper. One of the first things that you want to do is start to write down these components of your business idea, because once they're down on paper, you can then assign goals to yourself. Say, okay, this is how I get to the first step, right? So it's just a good way, it's a good practice. And you could always do the canvas over again if like you do it and you look at it and you're like, it's missing something. You could always go back and edit it or start over, right? If you decide to pivot. So this link literally will be a step-by-step guide to how you can do it. There's a PDF you can download to get this. You could print it out and write on it, or you could just write the 9 topics in like a Google Doc and then just fill in the information under each section. So the business model canvas has 9 segments, right? And it's really just designed to get your thoughts out. So a customer segment, customer relationships, channels, revenue streams, key activities, key resources, key partners, cost structure, and value proposition. These 9 segments really will, when you fill it out, you'll be in a place where you can literally start taking action, right? All right, so the first one, the customer segments, these are groups of people or companies that you're trying to target, right? So for the nail salon, who's the target for the nail salon, right? What kind of folks do you want, right? Is it young? Is it old? Is it all ages? Is it men? Is it women? Is it men and women, right? You just want to write that out. So some of it, sometimes it might seem like it's pretty obvious, but really when you start looking at competition in, let's say, your business space, you might find that you can target a specific audience that folks have not started targeting yet, right? Same thing with like empanadas and smoothies. Same thing with the sneaker maintenance business, right? You might look and say, oh, snap, there's other people doing something like what I want to do, but that's where targeting comes into play, and that can help you, right? It might be a language thing, right? It might be like you can get to folks that folks just can't talk to right now, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can enter an existing industry or business area and compete, right? So just keep that in mind, right? You always want to think about how can you compete with the folks that are already there, right? So doing this exercise, even if it seems just kind of like, oh yeah, of course I'm going to go to people, but who are these people? Think about age, demographics, ethnicities, where they live, you know, all of it, and start to write it out. And what you want to do is you want to keep refining it, right? And then you think about customer segments that you can reach. So you might just change your priorities to say, hey, you know what? I could really reach people that's the same gender as me or the same age group as me. Or maybe I have family that has a whole connection in this space. So let me target these folks first. Because what you want to do is initially, you want to target a specific segment first. Once you get a good foothold in that segment, then you would expand to another customer segment, right? So your initial segment might be people relatively close to you, let's say relatively same age range, just for example, right? You get folks in one segment, now you can say, okay, now I can move on to a bigger segment or a different segment and continue to build that out. right? So that's the purpose behind your customer segment section. And they kind of explain that a little bit here. I just wanted to talk to it in my own words, but they explain their different customer segments a business model can target, and they walk you through some. Any questions on segments, customer segments, or thoughts? Good on that? All right. So number 2 is customer relationships, right? You need to establish a type of relationship you will have with each of your customer segments. How will you interact with them throughout the journey of your company, right? So this is really speaking to like, are you just giving them something, right? Do you have things to pick from that they're just gonna say, oh, I want that one, right? Maybe like the empanadas, right? Chicken, beef, veggie, right? Which one do you want? And you just kind of go about their business after you give it to them. Some might be they need to sit down and talk with you, right? They need to consult with you. You need to have a conversation and then figure out a plan together, right? Some could be you're assisting them in something they're already doing, right? So there's all kinds of customer relationships. You really just want to lock in on, hey, what's my primary customer relationship? How am I engaging my customer segment? Even communities they have here. So S.O.A.R, for example, like as a nonprofit, we are a community, right? Our relationship is very community driven. We literally just had a in-person Rock the Block event a month ago. And then we have this virtual engagement too with the classes, right? But we're very community driven in our segments. All right, so they also have this customer journey map, which walks you through kind of how do you get your customers, and then how do you move through the process of getting awareness, getting them to consider you or your product. The acquisition piece means they're now engaging. They say, yes, I want that. Yes, I want what you're offering, right? That's could be referred to as customer acquisition. And then service, right? How do you provide the service? So they have this left and right kind of map here to just kind of, you can fill in what makes sense for you. And then the retention, right? So after you give them the service, how do you keep them coming back? Like, what do you do? Do you save their email, phone number? How do they keep up with your business? The channels, so how do they talk to you, right? Or how do they see information from your company, right? Again, this could be social media, this could be email blasts, this could be you're literally physically standing somewhere where people are walking by and you have a poster up or something to say, you know, we have a sale going on, whatever it is. How do you actually engage with your customers? Be websites, things like that. Revenue streams, right? So how do you actually get money, right? How do you do that, right? So revenue streams are the sources from which companies generate money by selling their product or services to customers. In this block, you should describe how you would earn revenue from your value proposition, right? So they give a couple examples here, right? Asset sales, usage fees, subscription fees, lending, leasing, renting, licensing. So, but this all boils down to how do they pay for your service, right? If you're giving them a good, typically it's just going to be you're just going to put a price on it, they're going to pay the price and they get it, right? But for something like the community service, the shelter, right? That's very different than selling the empanadas, right? So how would you actually earn revenue? Curious, I'm putting you on the spot, Excel. Have you looked into that already? Like how the shelter would be sustained? Or
For a little while I did, but after a while I just like stopped. And then yeah, like I kind of looked into like like how to do it and like what it would like take with doing it. And I was gonna start like planning early, but after a while I just like left it alone. But I'm gonna get back up on it.
Gotcha. Were there any revelations? What any high level, like, hey, this is how a shelter gets funding or something like that that you learned about?
Not really. Like I don't think I can remember most of them.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, no problem. So one thing for sure, we are here to help. So Rosie can share a lot about funding and can introduce you to folks. Rosie's also a councilwoman elect in the borough of Roselle, so she's getting even deeper into that area. But essentially, shelters are funded, right? You're going to need to apply for grants, apply for funding from city, state, right? And you could also see private funding, right? Individuals that want to give back, they've made a lot of money, like, hey, we want to give back, right? So those are also, so you'll be fundraising in multiple different ways, whether it's individuals that have it to give, groups of people that are giving a little bit each, but primarily for something like a shelter, I imagine you'll be really focused on grants and getting funding from the state. My wife also works, she's a state employee. She works at Rutgers University, and she could also share about how state funding works. But yeah, just we are also here to help you guys ideate and think about, how do I get this thing started? All right. Key activities. So this section, what tasks need to be completed to fulfill your business purpose, right? So are you producing something? Are you solving a problem for someone? Are you creating and maintaining a platform? What is the activity that actually your business is doing? Key resources. This is a list of which are the main inputs you need to carry out your key activities. So if you're, let's say, Michael, and you're doing it, the empanadas, what do you need for that, right? Is it one person? Is it a bunch of people? Do you need a loan to get started, right? Do you need a store, a trailer, like a food truck? Like how is this all happening, right? So that's a resources piece, right? How does this come to life? So the key resources piece usually helps folks flesh out things like, I'm going to be in a physical location, or I'm going to be online. So all I need is a website, or all I need for some businesses is an Amazon store. Like there's so many different ways that things can operate, but you really want to think about how and where does your business exist, and what does it need to actually run. If it's people, how many people do you need, right? And what type of people, right? Finances, can you start with no money, or do you need to get money from somewhere? We're going to talk about that financial piece a little bit in fundamentals, but way more in the advanced cohort. Intellectuals, talking about brand, patents, intellectual property. So this is like, if your business is really based on an idea, that's intellectual property, right? So if you thought of a solution that no one has thought about yet, right? You thought about some kind of nail polish that glows in the dark and sparkles, right? And this nail polish does not exist anywhere else in the world. That's something that it will be your intellectual property, because you figured out something that no one has actually figured out yet. That's something that you would want to get a patent on, or that's intellectual property. Intellectual property could also be a solution or a service that no one solved in the way that you came up with a solution. So, for example, in the beginning, Uber was a unique value proposition in the very beginning, right? Like, let's get random drivers to pick people up and drop them off, but using an app, right? Because before Uber, you had to go call a taxi, right? You had to find a number. Who knows the number for a local taxi? You had to call them up, or you had to go on a phone book or something, get a number to call a taxi. Or if you're in a busy city, wave down a taxi like a dollar cab or something. But Uber said, hey, we're gonna make an app on your phone. You can just use your phone to get that. So those things are examples of like intellectual property. Any question on the key resources section? Cool. Key partners, and we're almost at the end of the sections here. So key partners are external companies or suppliers that help you carry out activities, right? So maybe you need to connect with someone else or something else for your business to actually operate. That'll be a key partner, because if you don't have them, for example, your business can't function. An example of that could be like how you have how you have for folks that are selling homes, right? The realtors or the banks that are selling a home, you have realtors that are helping people buy homes, right? That's a key partner there. You also have the bank that's lending the money, right? So if there's no bank to lend the money and someone needs a loan, that's another key partner that's in that relationship of buying and selling homes. Cost structure. So this is very literal. So what are the associated costs with your business, right? So how much does it cost to get your product or your service ready? Or how much does it cost you to provide a service? So some things are very clear. Like for the nail salon, it'll be like, all right, you got to buy nail polish, you got to get chairs, you got to get a space, right? If you're renting a space, how much is the rent? The nail polish, how much is it to get it? But for other things, it might be a service, right? So like if you're doing something for people as a service, how much is your time worth, right? So someone might say, hey, Layla, I need a website, and you're going to build the website. So you might say, all right, that'll be $2,500. Maybe that's a good price, but maybe their website is like 1,000,000 pages, thousands of products, and you're like, man, I should have charged them like $20,000 for this crazy website, right? So you want to think of your time as well. Even if you're not providing a good, your cost should equal the amount of time you're going to spend on providing a service. And we'll also get into that more in advance. So the last piece here, there's actually a value proposition canvas. So I won't get into value proposition just at this moment. But those are the pieces of the business model canvas. So you could download, I think I made this downloadable. You should be able to download this from the store, the Google Class. If you're having any issues, let me know. But it kind of looks like these rectangles and squares. That's the business model canvas template in Google Class. And if you're visual, you could print it out and write in on it, or you could just write the segments and just type it in manually. Any questions on that?
Are you gonna send it into like an email for us?
The link for the classroom, I'm gonna drop the link for the classroom here. I'll drop it in again, and if anything, I'll also go through and add your emails in here as well. Yes, I'll follow up with an email. But try the link and see if the link works. It should be. Yeah, that's the proper link. So that link should work to get you in the class, the Google Class.
Yeah, I've seen some scholars already in there. So that's definitely the correct link. So please use that.
Okie dokie. All right. So definitely take a look at the business model canvas. Try to fill it out. Even if you don't fill out every single section, it's just good to start thinking on it. Nehemiah, for your sneaker maintenance company, filling this out could even help you kind of round out the pieces of your business that you might not have even thought about yet, right? And it's a good practice, right? And then the more you guys have your business idea, you can just go back and fill it out again, right? But it's good practice, because then you'll take the business model canvas, and again, we'll start going into action into getting your business to life. So the business model canvas, you can print it out and write on it, or just write down the topics, the segment titles, and just fill in each segment in like a Google Doc or Word doc or something like that. All right. Any other questions about business model canvas? Like, it's kind of one of those things when you get into it, you might have more questions on Thursday, and that's perfectly fine. Just wanted to give you a high level overview. All right. So this kind of aligns with the vision mission statement, but just from a high level, thinking about why, right? What's the purpose of your business, and what is your goal, right? How do you want to give back? That also is helpful. I know a lot of you mentioned this in your vision statements and your mission statements. But that's good. That's what's going to keep you going. So definitely don't forget it, and definitely make that a part of your value proposition, right? Because business, when you start, is there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be some kind of hurdle to get over, especially as you're learning. So one way to lessen the difficulty is to connect with folks that have either started a business in an area that you're trying to get into, or just connecting with a business individual in general and asking their advice, right? So definitely use us here at S.O.A.R as references, as folks to ask questions, because hopefully the goal is we help you get over some of the hurdles and obstacles, and you could avoid certain setbacks, right? Versus having to go through them from scratch. All right. I believe since we did the Mentimeter in the beginning, the only thing we have at the end is a class survey. We're gonna push through. We only have 10 minutes left. All right. If you guys need a quick break though, we'll do a quick 2-minute break just in case. We'll do a quick break in case anyone needs to grab some water or anything like that. All right, so it won't be a 10-minute break, but we could take a quick break, 2 minutes, just to catch our breaths, and then we're gonna close this out.
See everyone back in 2 minutes, not 10. Please ignore the screen. We'll be back at 7:51, 7:52 at this point.
You don't break that bread up, that's a ton of weight. I just got 100,000 followers. Billy, you so musical. She ain't talking Oliver. We got lots of chemistry. What is that, a polymer? Indie tribe is in the house, like an monitor. Yeah. Look, thank God for the platform. Ink all in my passport. Industry is cold as Minnesota, better pack warm. Me and Velo, that's 2 W's like tax forms. John and Mowgli tight at 9, need you to platform. Thank you. I pity the fool, I take that back. Philippians 2. Had some friends, I kicked it with that disappear like Freddy I do. My girl sweet like honey in my tummy. Feel like we need a poo. Funny like Arsenio, mixed with Minio. Making William, yeah. Oh yeah, get paid off the internet like Comcast. Most of the stuff I'm hearing on the internet is bombast. Had a vision, we in line for heaven, and we all last. Christ ain't no internet in heaven, I said it long last.
All right. So we will be. So we're gonna go over just like 1, 2 other slides, and then we'll drop a survey in the chat for everyone to fill out. So I always want to talk about technology and business because there's a lot of overlap, right, with technology and how it enables us and gives us just more reach, right, more productivity, saves time. Who here has heard of ChatGPT? If you heard of ChatGPT, all right, who here has used ChatGPT? All right, so there is a free version, and now it's in Microsoft. They call it Copilot. It's the same thing, essentially. But technology can help you in things like summarizing content or creating drafts or outlines, but you definitely want to go through it and still refine it with your own thoughts and ideas. But sometimes it can draft things for you. Like ChatGPT is great at refining, drafting, ideating even sometimes, right? Doing the first layer of competitor analysis. So you could literally say, hey, I want to do A, B, C, and D in this city and state, and I'm curious about the competitive analysis here. Things like that. There's a lot of ways today in today's realm where technology can help accelerate the speed of you going from having nothing to getting your business started. So we will talk about that more as well. But any, I guess, initial thoughts on like technologies that you feel could help you get your business started, if any?
I feel like maybe finding certain target audiences, because I think that might be difficult.
Yeah, especially, yeah. So if it's new, definitely ChatGPT is a good tool. However, what it does is it like scans internet resources. So it could be a start, but then there's other platforms and services too that go more into that as well. Layla?
So when I think of technology, I also think about like different social medias and stuff like that. And I kind of just thought of like just basic promoting of the business in that sense.
Yeah, promoting, absolutely. Like you're not promoting your business if you're not promoting it on social media. It's just the reality of life, but also getting information, right? If you have connected with enough people in your target audience, you can use social media to help guide the direction of your service or product, right? You could literally put up a poll and said, who wants blue t-shirts with smiley faces, right? And if 1,000 people say yes, like, all right, cool, yes, I'm gonna make some blue t-shirts with smiley faces on them. So you could use technology in those ways as well to get direction. I mean, social media platforms in general to get direction. I'll give this one example and then I'll move on. But on Facebook, there's a group called Black Owned NJ, right? Black Owned New Jersey. And it was started during COVID. So someone had the idea of like, hey, I want to support other Black business owners. Let me start this group. And literally this group has over 250,000 people from New Jersey. And when anyone needs something, they go to the group and say, hey, looking for a carpenter. Hey, looking for an electrician. Hey, looking for a hairstylist. So definitely use social media platforms to your advantage. There's no shortage of opportunities there. So with that, I will pause. I believe my wife has the class survey to drop into the chat to fill out. So this is Fundamentals of Business. Thursday, we're going to jump into Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship. So we're going to go deeper into the aspects of, all right, as an entrepreneur, what is the mindset you should have? What are some of the basics you should know in addition to what we started today? We talked about the business model canvas, talk about the vision and mission statement. We're going to go deeper into that realm as an entrepreneur mindset. So please check your chat, click the link to do the class survey. When you're done with the class survey, just drop an S in the chat so that we know you're done.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. As you're filling out your survey, please continue to do so. I don't mean to interrupt, but I know we're coming up on time and I want to make sure we just make some logistical announcements. So the next class will be on Thursday at 6:30. As Professor JR stated, that will be here at 6:30, same link. You will receive an email notifying you of the class. If you haven't joined the Google Classroom, please go ahead and do that. If you haven't joined the WhatsApp, please go ahead and do that as well. I believe someone had asked about joining the WhatsApp, and I apologize, I forget who had asked about that. But if you still need access to the WhatsApp, just direct message me in the chat and I can get that information to you. As always, we do have our general email box, but we also have direct emails. I will put my email address as well as Professor JR's email address in the chat box if you have any questions. We also will hang on for a few minutes to see if anyone have any questions or if they would like to share anything with us. We will be here and we will hang on the line. Thank you all. You did a fantastic job tonight. You give yourself 2 pats on the back for being here and being engaged. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. If you, like Wow said, if you're done, you could drop. Have a good night. If you have any questions, let us know. And I will actually, let me stop the recording now.